Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for joining in for a new episode about Allah's beautiful names of the program titled Only If You Knew. Only if you knew Allah's beautiful names will your life have a meaning to it. And if you don't know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then your life becomes meaningless. Just like how we talked about in the introduction, وَلَا تَكُونُوا, don't be like those who forgot about Allah, which in result Allah made them forget themselves. Oh Allah, never make us forget ourselves. Oh Allah, never make us forget about your beautiful names. With that being said, I'd like to send my salam to our dear guests. If you can please introduce yourself.
My name is Ahmad, I'm from the USA.
I'm Mahmoud from Egypt.
Beautiful.
I'm Hamdi, I'm from Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Great.
I'm Addison from Bosnia.
Barakallah feekum. May Allah reward you, inshallah. And may Allah make you a benefit for all your countries and where you're coming from, inshallah. May Allah reward you all. And may Allah reward our viewers. Question that comes to mind, how would you feel if a celebrity loves you? How would you feel when someone you look up to end up loving you? How will your heart feel when they tell you, I love you? This happened to me in the States when one of the shuyukh was very famous, very great man, beautiful, piety as apparent on him, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. And we used to love him so much. He used to conduct a class with hundreds and hundreds of people, and we all like roam around just to be around him, to hear his answering the questions. And subhanAllah, we love him for the person who he is. One time we went for dinner at a person's house, a big house, mashallah, and then in the basement we all ate, and then we all left. As we were leaving, the sheikh was going at a distance to his car where someone's going to drive him home, and I was going towards my car to go back home. In the midst of at night, not much light, the sheikh, he says, Majid. I'm like, me? He knows me by my first name? It meant so much to me. You know me by my first name? Majid? He's like, Naam, sheikh. He said, come here. So I ran, وَعَجِلْتُ إِلَيْكِ, يعني I ran to the sheikh. He said, come here. And he did this to me. And then he hugged me. And wallahi, just like a little baby, I cried. The love I had to the sheikh, I'm like, you know me by my first name? You love me? And this meant so much to me, and wallahi, until today, I can never forget that hug. With this being said, as a human being, as him, and he's a normal person, one day he will die, and Allah knows how will his ending be, and we ask Allah to make him steadfast until the last moment, and may Allah protect our shuyukh all over the world. And may Allah make our hearts attached to those who love Allah. And may Allah purify our hearts and not make it attached to those who do not love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. With this being said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and let's see how you feel. Not when a human being loves you, but the best of examples, Allah loves you. Allah named himself Al-Wadud, the all-loving, subhanallah. This should cause something to our hearts when we know about Allah Al-Wadud, and inshallah the more we go, by the will of Allah, you will sense that love, and you will feel that humbleness and shy, and you might fall some tears of seeing how much Allah loves us. Wid, what does wid mean? The root word of Al-Wadud. Wid, the ulama say, now in English, I don't find an exact translation for it, but they say love. But love in Arabic is hub, excellent, hub. But wid is a higher level than hub. So let's quick do the difference. Hub are feelings that are kept inside and not expressed. If you express them, then that becomes wid. Hub can be you sitting in a room thinking about a person whom you love. Wid is you go tell them, I love you. You see the difference? So hub is internal. Allah did not name himself Al-Habib. Allah named himself Al-Wadud because he translated the love towards you through the creation which you see, and he has special love to the believers. And this is Allah's beautiful name, Al-Wadud. The one who loves his slaves. Certain slaves have a special category of love, and he's the one which is also called Mawdud. So there's two meanings to Al-Wadud. Number one, Al-Wadud, the one who loves his creation. And Al-Mawdud is when the creation loves him. And he is the most worthy of being loved. So let's look into it more and more from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you think about it. Can you believe that that name is applicable to us? Can you believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would tell you, I love you by name? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need us. Do you know how much creation Allah has besides us? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has an authentic hadith that the sama made a noise, squeaky noise, أطت السماء. You know why that noise came? For how heavy the weight is on it. Why? Ya Rasulullah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said There's not a space of 4 fingers except there's what? An angel here and an angel here. 4 fingers, an angel. And look how big the sky is. We talked about it when? In what name? Allah al-Khaliq. Remember? Yes. The heavens and how big they are. And between one to that second one is how many years? 500. Excellent, mashallah. I'm glad you guys know that, mashallah. 500 years. All of this, the angels are so heavy on for how many there are. And we are so small and we are a lot less in numbers. And Allah called Himself Al-Wadud to all of us. May Allah make us under the umbrella of love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As you can see by now, Al-Wadud is more comprehensive than Al-Habib, which Allah didn't put that as His name. You might say, أخي, طيب Al-Wadud, Al-Rahman, Al-Ghafur, very similar, which is true. But Al-Wadud is different. You need mercy, you go to Ar-Rahman. You need food, drink, and rizq, and water, you go to Ar-Razzaq. Beautiful. And you need maghfirah, forgiveness, you go to Allah, Al-Ghafur. But some of us, we need, not some of us, all of us need love, just love by itself. Think about a child, walad. His parents shows him mercy by giving him the food, taking him to school and so on. Is that enough? He wants to see the love from the parents. He wants to hear, I love you. You know what the scholars of nafs, the psychologists say? When the father says, I love you to the child, his confidence increases. When the mother says, I love you, his happiness and kindness, it goes up. Because love is very important. I've taken a psychology class at University of Windsor, and there's a very famous person, a psychologist's name is Maslow. So Maslow's theory, the theory of Maslow, and I'm sure many of you perhaps went through this, maybe the viewers, or anyone that goes to psychology, even the basics, they have to go through Maslow's theory. What's that theory? He has a pyramid that shows the importance of things to you, the priority, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The first one he mentioned is what Allah mentioned in Surah Quraysh. لإلاف قريش إلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت. Allah says, let them worship that bait, الكعبة. Why? الذي أطعمهم من جوع وأمنهم من خوف. So Maslow says that the number one thing to a human being, the most important thing to you, is you need to find food. Because if there's no food, you can't think, you can't study, you can't do anything else. Right with the same category is food and being safe. SubhanAllah, Allah said that already. Right after that, before success, before future, before self-esteem, He mentions the need for you to sense that people love you. You need to feel that people respect you, that people love you, SubhanAllah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala named Himself Al-Wadud. And when you read this, you appreciate Al-Wadud even more and more and more. And I hope it's clear the importance of Al-Wadud and Ar-Rahman and how you can always separate between them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows you His signs of love. He keeps giving you signs that I love you. I love you. يُحِبُّهُمْ وَيُحِبُّونَ. In the Quran, Allah began with Himself. I love you. How does that feel to you? And I will continue Allah showing you signs and signs and signs. Look at the sun. Allah could make the sun rise very plain and set very plain and ugly. Sah wa la? Yes. But isn't it one of the most beautiful things ever, the sunrise?
Yes, of course.
And one of the most beautiful things ever, the sunset? You go, inshallah, with your wife, and you look at the sunset, and you love, and what happens? The love goes and flows in your hearts, both of you. You feel that sense of security and serenity, subhanAllah. That's why you find some countries, they use sunshine. So since you're from the States, maybe you might know. What state in America is called Sunshine State?
Florida.
Excellent, Florida. They named it Sunshine because it's so beautiful. I went to University of Windsor in Canada, and the street in which the university is located is Sunset. Because such beautiful thing, Allah keeps giving you signs, I love you, I love you, I love you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what about the moon? The moon could have been something very plain and ugly. But now we can sit on the grass at night and just enjoy the moon and enjoy the stars. Allah giving you signs, I love you. I could have made it plain, but it's giving you the signs more and more and more. About the fish, so many kinds of fish, and we only eat a small group. You go down the ocean, you perhaps watch like Discovery Channel or so, different kinds of colors of fish and so on. We don't even touch and eat. Why? Showing you, I love you, I love you, I love you. What about the food? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you so many kinds of food. All what we need to survive, some water maybe, some dates, rice or khalas. Do we need Cheetos? Do we need zinger with chicken on top and spicy chicken and meat? And why is the meat of the shoulder of the sheep is different taste than the sheep's neck, the meat on there? Allah saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. You go to a person's house, khalas, he puts the dining table for you. You would note is that if he's a rich man and he only puts like water and just rice, and then you're like, okay, no problem, alhamdulillah, won't complain. But imagine you go to a different person's house. He puts to you water, juice, Pepsi, 7-Up, Diet 7-Up, Diet Pepsi, rice, and all kinds of rice, white, yellow, and like, man, shows a lot of love. Allah gives you signs, I love you, I love you, I love you. Don't you feel it? Don't you feel it? Don't you sense it? That's why the understanding we're trying to say, the more you see the signs of Allah, you think of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the love He sends to you. There's much more into it. And there's specific love that Allah gives to the believers. I ready inshallah to listen about this beautiful love to the believers, and may Allah make us amongst them. We will talk about it inshallah right after the break, so please be patient. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for tuning in again after our short break, talking about Allah's beautiful name, Al-Wadud, the All-Loving. The All-Loving, the one who loves His creation, gives them signs and signs and signs. And number two, the one who is Mawdud or Al-Mahbub. Al-Mahbub is not one of Allah's names, but to understand that Mawdud is the one who deserves all the love from your heart towards Him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us there is special love that He gives to the believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات سيجعل لهم الرحمن ودا. Those who believe in Allah and they do righteous deeds, they translate their love to Allah into action. Ya Allah, what will you do? Allah will make them sense the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will love them, and Allah will make their hearts feel that Allah loves them, and then their heart will fully love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's back and forth. Number one, Allah will give you signs that I love you, and you will feel it, that Allah loves you. And number two, your heart will be full of love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, alayhi wa sallam. ثلاث من كن فيه وجد حلاوة الإيمان. Whoever had those three things, traits, they will taste the sweetness of Iman, the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is it, Ya Rasulullah? Number one, those who love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Messenger more than anything in the world. More than anything in the world. You hate things only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You love things only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you hate to be thrown in Jahannam just like how you hate to be thrown in the fire. You hate that as much as if you were to be thrown as a kafir. So how much do you hate kufr? You should hate kufr just like how you would be hating to be thrown in fire. No one likes to be thrown in fire. Similarly, those people that taste that love are those who hate the fire just as much as they hate the kufr. So is those people. How does Allah show us our love? By having mercy upon us. He loves you by forgiving your sins. Allah loves you by being pleased by you. Allah forgives you, and He says, وَهُوَ الْغَفُورُ الْوَدُودُ. Because He loves you, forgive you. Another verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ, and seek Allah's forgiveness. ثُمَّ تُوبُوا إِلَيْهِ, then return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ رَبِّي رَحِيمٌ وَدُودٌ. He accepts your return. Subhanallah, see how different the tawwab can come at the beginning, and wadud, because he repented upon you, because he loves you, because he saw the sincerity in you. Let's look at those whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loved, and let's see the examples. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Now in this hadith, we're going to show you the human beings' love to Allah, and right after this, we will show you how Allah loves us, and signs and ahadith. Number one, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam makes a famous dua, and I ask you to please memorize it. Allahumma, he says, Allahumma, inni as'aluka hubbak. Oh Allah, I ask you your love. Wa hubba man yuhibbuk. And oh Allah, grant me your love. And oh Allah, make me love those who love you. And the third, wa hubba amalin yuqarribuni ila hubbik. And the love of the action that gets you close to you. So number one, oh Allah, grant me your love. Allahumma inni as'aluka hubbak. Number two, and oh Allah, make me love those who love you. See how important this is? You make sure you set your heart. Who do you love? If you love those who love Allah, alhamdulillah, inshallah, it's a good sign. Number three, oh Allah, make me love the actions that get me closer to you and grant me your love. Look at Musa alayhi salam. When he was rushing back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, وَعَجِلْتُ إِلَيْكَ رَبِّي لِتَرْضَى جَزَاكَ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا. And I rushed to you back, Allah, I'm so fast towards you, Allah. Why are you running? For you to be pleased, Ya Allah. Look at the love, subhanAllah, that many of us read this verse and perhaps not comprehended the love that Musa has towards Allah. Musa says to Allah when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks, what's that in your right hand? وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا مُوسَى. What's that thing in your right hand? Some of us, what would happen if we ask you, oh, so what is it that you have? Nothing. But you have a watch. What do you say? Nothing. صح? Especially the young shabab, like nothing. But say a watch, وخلاص. What Musa says, look at the love he has. He says, وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا مُوسَى. What's that in your right hand? He says, here, عصاي. He could have stopped. This is my stick. But he went more. أتوكأ عليها. It's my stick. I lean on it. وأهش بها على غنمي. And I move away my sheep with it. ولي فيها مآرب أخرى. And I do other things with it. So you go with the conversation more and more. I love Allah. There's a conversation between us. You see the love that they had to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at Abdullah ibn Jahsh. He was a Sahabi that went to Uhud along with other Sahaba of the great of Sahaba. Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas radiallahu anhu told Abdullah bin Jahsh, says, Ya Abdullah, shall we not go and make some dua? He said, yes, go ahead, let's go make dua. Sa'd bin Waqqas made dua. He said, Ya Allah, make me meet a very harsh enemy, very strong. يُقَاتِلِنِي وَأُقَاتِلُهُ فَأَقْتُلُهُ. We fight and then I kill him. Then Ya Allah, grant me another one, so I can do the same thing and I can kill him. Abdullah bin Jahsh made dua right beside him. He said, Ya Allah, grant me a strong person so I can go fight him, so he can kill me. Then he can chop my nose and chop my ears and like mutilate my body. And then I'll come to you, Ya Allah, I'll come to you, Ya Allah, and full of blood. And then you go to ask me, Ya Abdullah, why did you go through all of this? So I can tell you, Ya Allah, I went through this because of you. I went through this just because of you, Ya Allah. See the love that Abdullah radiallahu anh had towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah make us have that much love to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at Ubay ibn Ka'b. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he told Ubay, Ya Ubay, Allah revealed a surah and told me to read it for you. Abdullah said, Ubay ibn Ka'b said, Asammani Rabbi? Allah said, say this to Ubay. The Prophet ﷺ said, Naam. He mentioned your name, read this to Ubay. Ubay was crying and crying and crying. Allah mentioned my name. How beautiful is that? People seek honor that Allah mentioned my name. Wallahi, you never know Allah might be mentioning your name right now. Subhanallah. What was that surah, by the way? It's a nice quiz, huh? What was that surah? Surah Al-Bayyinah. لم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب and so on. So he cried and he cried, أنا الذي سماني ربي. I am the one whom my Lord mentioned me by name. So how can Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let's see some ahadith to see that Allah truly is applicable to us. This is not just for Sahaba, but it's much, much more than that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. Mention me and I will mention. And who are we worth that Allah would spend some time mentioning our names? And time is not applicable to Allah because Allah is the one who created time. But how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions our name, such an honor. One time Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan radiallahu anhu, he was walking and he saw a group of people being gathered. And he said, مَا أَجْلَسَكُمْ? Why are you guys gathering around? They said, we're gathered to mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to remember Allah. Something just like this, just like those who are watching. May Allah accept. Then he said, Allah, I ask you by Allah, is that why you guys are sitting together? He said, Allahumma ajlasana illa nadhkur Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, I didn't ask you because I'm accusing you. But I'm asking you because I heard Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam one time, he saw a halaqah and he came and he asked them, Ma ajlasakum? What made you sit together? They said, we sat together so we can glorify Allah and mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more and more. He said, Allah, is that why you're sitting together? I ask you by Allah. They said, yes, Ya Rasulullah, to mention Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thank Allah, blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and so on. He said, I didn't ask you to accuse you. That's the Prophet is saying. Then why are you asking us, Ya Rasulullah? It's because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He sees such gathering, He tells the angels, يُبَاهِ بِكُمُ الْمَلَائِكَةِ. Allah, what? He feels a sense of pride. He's so proud in front of the angels. Look at my slave. Look at Ahmed. Look at Mahmoud. He mentions you by name. Look at them. Allah feels so proud. Al-Aziz, the Almighty. What an honor it is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah make us amongst those who are mentioned by Allah. Something very, very valuable. Just to let you illustrate this, imagine if someone, his name is on a newspaper. You might go, and then you go to their house, like, come here, come here. I'm like, what's wrong? It's like, just come here. Here you go, watch this. What newspaper? They're like, go watch. They're like, okay. Then he said, can you see what's going on? Like, see the guy here? What guy? I see like the president. You see the guy all the way at the back? He's like, yeah. Oh yeah, that's you. That's you. He's like, yes, that's me. In the newspaper, they're so proud and they can hardly ever be seen. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions you, how do you feel? How would the person feel, subhanAllah? Imagine this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you more and more. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends His love towards those sisters that wear the hijab. Na'am. Wallahi, many times they think, how can I encourage a sister to wear the hijab? Talk about Allah al-Wadud. Because if you note about the verse of hijab, look at the amount of words of love compared to the amount of words of the obligation. Let's look at the verse together. Bismillah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها النبي, O Prophet, قل لأزواجك وبناتك ونساء المؤمنين. Tell your wives and tell your daughters. ونساء المؤمنين, all Muslim women. What ya Allah? يدنين عليهن من جلابيبهن. 4 words. Put on the jilbab. Drop the jilbab upon you. Is it clear? So 4 words. Then look Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All the love words. ذلك أدنى أن يعرفن فلا يؤذين. Didn't finish yet. Why ya Allah? Put on the jilbab so you can be recognized amongst those who appreciate Allah al-Wadud. That you're close to Allah. So يعرفن, so you can be indicated, so people can know you're close to Allah. The 6 words. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَفُورًا رَحِيمًا. And Allah is the most forgiving, the most merciful. Allahu Akbar. You see at the love, you see at the beauty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This sister now, when she truly believed in Allah al-Wadud, who was not wearing the proper hijab and so on, what will happen is that now she will wear the hijab out of love. She will wear out of love to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-Wadud. 4 words of obligation, subhanallah. Look at Allah al-Wadud, how He makes our good deed times what? 10 to 700 to a maximum, because He loves you. Isn't it fair? 1 to 1. You do a good deed, 1 hasana. La. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you 10 to much more and more. Allahu Akbar. May Allah make us amongst them. Look at Allah al-Wadud yawm al-Qiyamah. Allah al-Wadud yawm al-Qiyamah, beautiful blessings. Amongst them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He told Adam alayhi salam, from every 1,000 of your children, take 999 and take them to where? Hellfire. And only one will go to Jannah. The Sahaba heard that Rasulullah sallam. That's the day where the baby will have white hair for how scared they are. They said, Ya Rasulullah, who's that one that will go into Jannah? Because they want to be from that one. They said the 999 is from Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Gog and Magog, and that one is from you. Then they were so happy and excited. Then he said, وَإِنِّي لَأَرْجُ اللَّهِ. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the ummah of Muhammad 1/3 of the entire capacity of Jannah. We take 1/3. There's over 70 ummahs. Only us, we take 1/3. Then the Sahaba, كبرنا وحمدنا الله. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَإِنِّي لَأَرْجُ اللَّهِ. Then the Prophet made dua, we are shitra Ahl Jannah. We are half of Ahl Jannah. They went excited, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah al-Wadud loves Ummah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam more than anything in the world. Because we were the last Ummah to come. And we will be the first Ummah to go to Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us under the umbrella of Al-Wadud. And inshallah with this we'll continue in the next episode with Allah's beautiful name Al-Wadud, with much more information inshallah. Barakallah feekum. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. I hope this was of benefit. I hope now when you hear Allah loves you, it means a lot more to you, bi'idhnillah, and you will do whatever it takes to maintain that love and to increase that love to the next level. Jazakumullah khair for your patience. Thank you very much for your listening. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. We'll see you inshallah next episode with Allah's beautiful name Al-Wadud. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.